Okay, guys, here's an update. I left West Palm Beach day before yesterday, drove all day long, and this is a prime example on how not to create. Because I was going into physical, I was folding time space, doing great. And then I started noticing people on the side of the road with flat tires. And I took just a split second notice of it, followed by, oh, I hope my tires are okay. And I did that 3 times. Each time I did it a little bit longer. And I caught myself and I went, don't do that, don't do that. Third time, I didn't catch myself fast enough. 5 minutes later, I shredded a tire. Now I'm in Orlando. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, no clouds, hot as hell, in the city. And I was like watching all the cars go by, and I thought, well, I'm sure no one will stop because I'm in the city. And sure enough, no one stopped, of course. They couldn't. And so I changed the tire out, put the donut on. I thought, well, I had the donut checked, and sure enough, the donut did not have enough air. So I pulled out my can to fix the flat. The can to fix the flat, I started fighting with it. You can see how this starts to get worse and worse and worse. Fix the flat, the tube thing came off, and the air came out of the tire, what little I had. Fortunately, I stopped it, focused, centered, saw everything as being okay, and it worked, and I got enough air in the tire that I could kind of hobble to a gas station. Hobbled to a gas station, put some air in the tire, plugged in, used tires, and drove 20 minutes one way to the used tire place through Orlando toll road hell. Okay, so now I'm going, all right, how do I pay for these tires? What are we going to do? I went, okay, just relax into it. Everything will work out okay. So, I just called for help, looked on my PayPal. I had $20 there, and some more over here, and I had cash on me. So I made it happen. And then I just breathed and said, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. The guy came out and he said, you need just one tire. I said, no, I need two. No. I said, well, would you check them? He said, the back ones are fine. He went to the front and he was shocked. He said, there's wires coming through this one, so you need two. So I had two. That was $70. So again, I'm like, okay, I can do this. Everything will be fine. And that's when I looked on this and that, and I drew in enough to cover it, and that's the way this trip has gone. I've gone enough to cover it as I went. Now, you guys have helped tremendously, and all of your help I'm much appreciative, especially during the when I had to change out the struts and the motor mounts right at the beginning, which was quite pricey, and it really bit into my travel money tremendously because it was quite expensive. Of course, it was also very dangerous. However, I know how I created that too, because we went over that car before I left. And top to bottom, side to side, took it to 2 mechanics to verify that it was in good shape, right? So I remember thinking, well, I hope if there's anything massively wrong with it, that I will find out by the time I get to my first stop. Because my first stop was on a farm, and I knew that they would have, tools. And sure enough, what happened? Struts, windshield wipers were cracked and rotten, the motor mounts, 2 dramatic things right there, and the air conditioning line was leaking, right? Air conditioning kind of necessary for me going to South Florida beginning of summer, right? So this massive stuff, hundreds of dollars. So, yes, I did pre-plan everything. Everything was checked out, but that doesn't matter if a creator God says, worry, if something bad is wrong, I want to catch it now. Well, then something bad is going to happen. And I had caught it too late. So it does not take long to mess up your life. It really doesn't. Now, going the other direction for me, after having a very traumatic life, is much trickier. It's easy for me to think negative thoughts. I've thought negative thoughts for decades. It's harder for me to walk happier and happier. That's why I do videos saying I understand you guys. But it's the only way out. The other choice is to ignore it and continue to do unhappy thoughts out of control and let it continue to get worse and worse. And for me, it started out bad, really bad, and got horrible. over 45 years. I don't have any room for it to get any worse. I don't have a choice. Happier and happier may be contrary to what everything I've always done, but it is better than the alternative. So I do it one moment at a time. So back to the update. Finally made it to Tallahassee with Daniel, and it was pretty late at night, like 8 or 9 o'clock. Fell asleep, woke up. Daniel came over in the morning. We talked for a couple hours, and then he decided he wanted to do ayahuasca, so he did a beautiful job. However, he was like, again, small amount, and he didn't want to come back. He went straight over to the other side. He didn't really look around. He saw how it worked in conjunction to him, which was the intent, but certainly it was probably out of his system in 4 hours. He was up all night because he just stayed in the vibration, looked around, played, etc. So he got a hotel for me for a couple nights, but he stayed here last night because he just was he's still playing over there. And I didn't bother him because who can blame him? I understand completely why he stays, because it's awesome over there. So today I found out that there was a misunderstanding on my stop up in Alabama. You know, I thought she had booked. She thought I had booked. You know, with all the people I've talked to, yeah, I'm not really that surprised that I screwed up on one of these, but that I did screw up on it on Memorial Day weekend. Probably the one weekend during my trip where people will actually book up a state park camping area, right? So anyway, Daniel's telling me not to worry about it. He's going to fix it. So I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know what I'm going to do next. But if I can't find a camping site, I will go home or head towards home. But I really want to see Sam Klein up in Alabama. I really do want to see her. So we'll see. Everything will go according to plan. But I wanted to let you guys know I'm in Tallahassee. I'll be here for another night. And then I will update you. And I have got so many videos to do. But guys, right now as I travel, I'm either driving or I'm working with somebody. So really there hasn't been much time for videos. But when I get home, I will have lots of videos to do. So I hope you guys are all doing well. I send you my love. For everyone that I've already visited, I hope you got something out of the visit. I hope you learned something you can incorporate for the rest of your life that will make your life easier. That's the reason why I did all this, after all. Okay? All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. And I'll talk to you later. I love you so, so, so much. Huge hugs. Bye now.